Hey everyone, today we're going to dive into a topic that is giving AI developers everywhere a massive headache: the totally wild, unpredictable costs of building and running AI agents. Seriously, this is a whole new economic ballgame, and the rules are pretty much being written as we go. Okay, so let's just jump right in. For the longest time, the software world has lived in this super comfortable, predictable space of SaaS, software as a service. You know your costs, you can forecast everything, it's stable. But with AI agents, all of that predictability just goes right out the window. We're talking about a world where your costs are dynamic, they're variable, and they can swing like crazy from one moment to the next. And that unpredictability, well, it brings up this really fascinating and frankly critical question. How is it possible that running what looks like the exact same task doesn't have a fixed price? And look, we're not talking about small changes here. The cost for a single operation can literally jump by 100 times. Getting your head around what causes this massive swing from just 3 cents to $3 is absolutely essential if you're trying to build a business on this stuff. So, to get to the bottom of this, we first have to talk about why the old, comfortable rules of business they just break when you apply them to AI agents. You know, at the core of any business is this idea of unit economics. Basically, what it costs you to deliver one unit of value. In SaaS, that unit is easy. It's a user, a feature, whatever. It's known. But in AI, the workflow itself is non-deterministic. That means its path, its resource use, it's all unknown ahead of time. The unit itself is a constantly moving target. Now, the most obvious place you're going to see these costs pop up is with model tokens. Think of these as the currency of AI. They're the little chunks of text we send to models like GPT-4 as instructions, and they're the chunks we get back as answers. And every single one costs money. What's really wild here is how these tiny fractional costs can just completely explode when you scale up. I mean, $10 for a million input tokens sounds cheap, right? But now multiply that by thousands of users running complex tasks all day, and suddenly you're staring at tens of thousands of dollars a month in costs. All right, to make this a little less abstract, let's walk through a real-world example. We're going to follow an AI agent, and its whole job is to predict and stop customer churn. Sounds pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Well, you'll see it's not. So, and this is the absolute key, this agent isn't just following some simple pre-programmed script. This is what we mean by non-determinism. The agent is analyzing data as it comes in and literally improvising its strategy on the fly. You have no way of knowing exactly what it's going to do until the moment it does it. And this just lays out the problem perfectly. So, for a high-risk customer, the agent might decide, okay, I'm going to offer a discount. But to do that, it has to go pull usage data, check old support tickets, look at pricing history. Every single one of those steps costs you tokens and compute power. But what if it had decided to escalate to a human instead? The cost would be completely different. You just can't predict it. And the complexity doesn't just come from inside the agent's brain. It comes from us, from the user. A simple, vague question like this one forces the agent into this super resource-intensive process. It's got to search through past conversations, try to figure out what that thing is, and then decide how to act. That ambiguity is literally burning through your budget. Okay, so we've got the token costs, the ones you can see, but now we get to the really tricky part, the hidden costs. These are the behavior-triggered costs, the ones that only show up once your agent is out in the wild, dealing with real people and real problems. First up, we've got reasoning loops. So imagine your agent tries to use a tool to do something and it fails. Instead of just stopping, it might try again and again and again, maybe rephrasing the prompt or trying a different approach. Every single attempt is racking up your bill and, maybe even worse, making the user wait longer and longer. And then there's what I like to call the "it built you a clock" problem. You know, a user asks a dead simple question like, "Where's my order?" and the agent just goes into overdrive. It checks their entire order history, drafts an apology just in case, analyzes past complaints. It's doing a ton of extra work that adds absolutely no value, but you're still paying for all of it. This one's related. Let's say your agent needs to schedule a meeting. It has to check a calendar, convert a time zone, and send an invite. That's 3 different API calls, 3 tools. But what happens if just one of those steps fails? The agent might restart the entire sequence from the beginning. So 3 calls can easily become 6 or 9 or even more. And finally, we have the most dangerous hidden cost of all, hallucination. Look, in a simple chatbot, a hallucination is just an incorrect fact. It's annoying, sure, but you can manage it. In an agent, a hallucination is an incorrect action. It might promise a customer a huge refund that goes against your company's policy. The cost here isn't just tokens, it's real money, it's customer trust, it's a huge business risk. So this all sounds pretty chaotic, right? With all these cascading, unpredictable, hidden costs, you might be wondering, how on earth can anyone build a business on this? Well, the thing is, you can't totally eliminate the risk, but you can absolutely manage it. You just need the right guardrails. The key here is to go from being reactive to being proactive. This means putting hard limits on things, like how many tokens an agent can burn through, or how many times it can retry a failed task. It means logging every single thing the agent does so you can actually see what's happening and spot those costly loops. And it means using things like confidence scores, so an agent won't take a big, risky action unless it's very, very sure it's the right move. And that really brings us to the final thought here, because even with the best possible controls and all the guardrails in the world, you are still managing a non-deterministic autonomous system. The real challenge isn't just building the agent, it's creating the systems to constantly monitor it, to learn from it, and to adapt to its inevitable, unexpected behaviors. That right there is the new frontier. Thanks for tuning in to this explainer.